That's pretty amazing if you think about it.
And they're good at hiding. You know, they show you when you how they can hide, and they'll go away from people. And they know that they ain't afraid of people. They don't want nothing to do with them. They go away. They can smell them miles away. That's why they move. When they smell you coming, they move because they know you're coming. And they think that's the common sense guys. They think if there is a Bigfoot, that's what he's doing. That's why he's keeping
Right.
back. And then you got these narrow-minded people say, well, if there is, why can't we find any bones of them? Well, you go to Colorado. We've been through Colorado and all kinds. There's bears up there. You don't find bear bones. Why don't you find bear bones? They die, and there's lots of them. You don't hardly ever find an elk because the scavengers out there eat them. That's why. And if there is a Bigfoot, if they don't take him away, and however they take care of their whatever it is, same scenario with the monkeys, the gorillas. You don't find bones.
Was there gorillas ever in Colorado?
In Colorado, no.
No.
Bears.
No bears. No gorillas.
But you go
I had
around-
someone ask me one time, it was an older person that liked to watch squirrels.
Uh-huh.
And they said, where do you think the older squirrels go? Because all of a sudden you won't see any older squirrels, you just see young squirrels. Where do you think the older squirrels go? I said, beats me, I don't know. Where'd it go? They go away someplace to die? I don't know.
Retirement
Elephants
trees.
do. They found out that's what the elephants do. They found that back in the 18 or 1700s, that the elephants, when they die, they know it. And there's an area where these elephants will go and they just lay down and die.
Elephant graveyard kind of a thing.
It's an elephant graveyard.
It's
And they
forbidden.
found that one time.
Lion
They said,
King.
wow, the
Yeah,
piles
I
of
heard
bones
that.
they found there.
Well, maybe the squirrels
I-
have a graveyard. I
Well,
don't know.
I'm sure the squirrels, when they die, they probably, again, they die up there in squirrel holes. I mean, them holes in the trees. Probably birds and things eat them. You know, your crows and things, that's all they are. They're a scavenger bird.
Yeah.
A lot of your birds are scavengers. They eat dead meat. You see them in the road all the time. Vultures and all of them, they can smell them dead squirrels. And they got big, long beaks and everything. They'll reach in there and get them.
Yeah.
They die in them holes.
I think that was my mom that asked me that. She thought I would know. I said, I don't know. I guess I don't know where to go. She said, I watched this one squirrel, and I haven't seen it. I haven't seen that squirrel ever since the little squirrels came. I said, I don't know. I guess, nature. If it's time to go, it's time to go, I guess.
Well, they say, I think it's the way the gorillas over in Africa and places where they are. They die. The old ones drag them off. There's a place they take them to. They've seen them do it. Just
Yeah, they're pretty
their
smart.
nature to protect, Their babies, like when the mamas and them lose their babies and things. They take them off, but they're scavengers will get them eventually.
Yeah, you don't see the scavengers because they're out at night.
Well, my dad, years ago when he was a young man, he said, we used to barbecue, what they call roast. They possum, coon, squirrel, rabbit. They ate about anything you can find out there. But my dad said, we was out coon hunting one night, and we went across this pasture. This was probably back in the 30s. He said, we was going across this pasture in a moonlight night, and we could see, we thought a cow or horse was laying off out there. We could see the silhouette there of the moonlight.
Right.
And he said the closer we got to it, we heard this sloppy, like hogs eating.
Yeah.
Went over there, and it was a horse. He had died. And there was 3 or 4 possums in the belly of that horse eating it up. They eat in, they eat from out. He said a day or two later, all that was left was the skin and the bone. But my dad said, that's when I stopped eating possum. He said, that's something, I just thought of it after that. I could never pick up a piece of possum and eat it because I remember seeing that possum eating it.
Right.
And people used to say the old thing, the coon, he always Mom used to say, I remember my mom used to say, coons are the cleanest animal we got because they wash their food before they eat it. I heard that all the time, my kid life.
That's
You
if
know
they, if
why
that's
they-
if
The
they can
raccoons
find
would go and wash their food before they ate it. That's what.
They always wash their food. You know why they wash their food?
Mm,
Raccoons don't have saliva. They have to get it wet to eat it.
makes
That's
sense.
what they're doing. They're not washing it. They're getting it wet. They will take their food and go to a creek and eat it by a creek.
Come and wash it.
They don't produce saliva. What the object of that is, I do not know. It's just a creation.
One of those phenomena.
God created. I don't know how to explain it or why. But I know one thing, it was deceiving to people because older people used to think that. And I told my mom one day, I said, I found out some things by watching stuff like this. You know why a king coon wets his food down? He's got to be by water. He's got to be there because he cannot produce saliva.
So when they're out there mingling in the trash, they like to get it nice and wet,
And they mainly find stuff that's real
nice and
wet
moist.
and rotten and all that kind of stuff.
Makes sense.
Where
Can't
it's
argue
got
with
a lot
that
of
logic.
liquid in it.
No,
If it don't, they have to wet it.
makes sense.
It's just kind of weird.
It's like that Stonehenge. It's just don't explain it.
Yeah. And I don't know, that's just what I hear. Again, over the years, stories you used to hear from people, and I believe it. Now I'm believing this. I hear it, I don't know it. I've never tested it, but it makes a little bit of sense. It's just like down here in North Kansas City years ago when I was a young man like you. I'm 15 to 18, 20 years old, and I run across this old man. He was